Now, when working in Excel, it's important to make sure that your data can all be clearly seen. And in some cases, you're going to have text that's in various cells that actually is larger than what the cells can really handle. And we want to be able to set up ways where we can actually visualize the full thing. So especially if we're going to print this, the text will overprint, and so we want to make sure that that's not going to happen. Now, one way to make sure that our text is not going to overlap with each other is to widen our cells. So if you actually double click on the boundary between your cells in Excel, they will widen the columns to accommodate the value, the widest text. Another thing that you can do is you can move your survey data, in this case, way off to the side, and you can merge cells together in order to make additional room for them. So for instance, if you highlight two cells and you hit this button right here, this is the merge and center button, it will combine one or two cell, it'll combine two or more cells together that you've highlighted into a single block. And then it will also center it. You can take the centering off if you want, or you can left justify. But just by highlighting both cells and doing that, then it will provide you more space in order for your text to display properly. Another option that you can do is to wrap the text. So if you click on a cell like this and you click on this wrap text option, if your cells are narrower than the text, then you can click on the length of the row here, and you'll actually be able to see that the text is going to wrap around with lines. It'll break at the end of the cell, and so it'll print over rows below it if you don't expand the cell. But by doing this cell expansion, so we could do all of these, we could wrap all of these, and then you can see that they will still be in narrower cells, but now you'll be able to see all of the text that appears, and it won't overlap with all of this print that's out here. So these are some options that you can use in terms of formatting your spreadsheet. Some other options that you can use for highlighting your spreadsheet would be things like using boldface to set off your question sections, for instance. Here, I am going to actually undo some of the wrapping, just so that, again, this is just as an example. You can boldface things in order to make the subsections easier to follow. You can go to, for instance, I believe it's under here, freeze panes, and you can freeze the top row and the first column, so that when you scroll through the rest of the data set, the labels remain fixed on the left. Or if you scroll down, when the top row is frozen, then that will remain fixed at the top as well. So generally you have to pick one, but you can use that to also make your spreadsheet easier to view. And so all of these formatting options are available to you in terms of figuring out how to display your data in a way that makes the most sense and is as clear as possible in terms of people trying to just read the data casually. Now, in some of these future videos, we're going to look at some of the calculations and other kinds of ways of summarizing this data, or formatting the spreadsheet in terms of shading and color coding and things like that in order to highlight different aspects of the data.